Good day, everyone, and welcome to another learning session from Training Location, your DiSC provider. We are an authorized DiSC distributor for Wiley Publishing, as well as a channel partner with the Ken Blanchard Companies. My name's Bill Harshman, and please stick with me to the end of this 12-minute video for a complimentary resource and one small request. Previously, we've shared several aspects of everything DiSC, and as we've moved forward, I've had the request to introduce specific applications and uses of everything DiSC. For example, there are reports available through at least 6 different application-specific profiles, including workplace, agile EQ, productive conflict, work of leaders, management, and sales. Now, this session continues our detailed look into these applications, and today we'll dive deeper into everything DiSC productive conflict profile, which helps learners understand how they approach conflict situations. Now, what is conflict? What comes to mind? Anger, gossip, hurt feelings. Let's look at a couple cornerstone principles. Conflict comes down to a difference of opinions involving strong emotions. Conflict is an inevitable part of workplace relationships. However, it can be very productive. Conflict interactions may be influenced by other factors such as hierarchy, culture, business atmosphere, personal experiences, etc. And your own response to conflict is in your own control. Now, if there was only way we could accept our DiSC style and process conflict effectively, well, as you guessed it, there's a tool that helps you do that. Introducing Everything DiSC Productive Conflict Profile. And as you guessed it, it uses Everything DiSC as the engine. Now, productive conflict teaches you about your and other people's DiSC style to help you understand conflict behaviors. My goal here is to increase your understanding of the productive conflict profile using specific results from an actual assessment. First of all, we're all different styles, and those different styles process conflict differently. Let's take a look at each of the 4 styles and just one way in which they respond to conflict. So, how do you process conflict? As a dominant style, you want to shape your environment. In conflict, you often take control and overshadow others. Now, as an influence style, you tend to be lively and enthusiastic. In conflict, you openly express your frustration or hurt, often needing to release what's building inside. Now, as a steady style, you're generally patient and even tempered. In conflict, you're quick to compromise and accommodate others. And as a conscientious style, you tend to be analytical and private. In conflict, you rely on facts and objectivity. Now, everything DiSC productive conflict profile isn't about conflict resolution. Rather, it's focused on helping you curb destructive thoughts and behaviors so that conflict can become more productive. Excuse me. The 8 words around the everything DiSC productive conflict map are priorities. These priorities are unique to this profile, to the productive conflict profile. In other words, they are the primary areas where people focus their energy depending on their DiSC style. They are instinctive priorities that people, given their DiSC style, are likely to use during a conflict. Now, everyone has at least 3. Some have 4 to 5. Having more is no better or worse than having 3. Your productive conflict profile is unique to you and based on your results. Priorities simply help us understand how our style might be reflected in motivations and behaviors given real life work scenarios. The important thing to remember is that when things get foggy, and I mean like under stress or uncertainty, we seek the priorities associated with our style. Today, we'll see what everything DiSC productive conflict tells the participant and what action plans can result. Breaking it down further, we see the 3 priorities assigned to each quadrant respectively. At a first look, the model shows the following priorities identified with the primary style. The D shows justification, control, and assertion. The I shares assertion with the D and also has expression and reassurance. The S has reassurance and also adds harmony and stability. And the C has stability and also objectivity and justification. So this approach can, at least at a high level, give us an understanding of the priorities associated with the four quadrants before we even know a person's DiSC style. And let's always consider the basic styles before we dive deeper. Let's suppose we have a participant whose name is Bernie. An initial review of Bernie's Everything DiSC productive conflict profile indicates he's in the D style quadrant. Now, with that, we begin to know something about Bernie. As a dominant, or some people say dominance style, we know that Bernie's traits include direct, firm, strong-willed, forceful, and results-oriented. Now, the productive conflict profile will show us much more, so let's take a look. The profile is research validated, of course, and is intended for all adults and designed to help people understand their style in conflict, help people understand their destructive responses and the automatic thoughts that drive them, and help people understand how to catch themselves and make more productive choices. So let's take a look at what those 8 words placed around the model really mean. Now, priorities, as we said, are where Bernie focuses his energy. For example, as we introduce our participant, Bernie, we see that his D style has the following 3 priorities, which we just spoke about: justification, control, and assertion. These priorities are the lenses through which Bernie views various situations and interactions, and they can influence his automatic responses without even necessarily conscious thought. Today, we'll see what the productive conflict profile tells us about Bernie's priorities and what action plans can result. So as we can see from the results of Bernie's profile, he's a D. All the profiles begin with a very good summary of the DiSC and what 4 quadrants mean in terms of basic styles. Then the profile provides several paragraphs of helpful information and context unique to Bernie to help him understand the nuances in his productive conflict report. Then the report provides a detailed summary of each of Bernie's 3 priorities. Now, the following is a focused look at Bernie's 3 priorities. This is where Bernie's 3 priorities are fully explained to him within his report. I'm choosing one to share an excerpt for your understanding. Here's one. As someone with the D style, because you have a strong vision of how things should be, you'll likely have a desire to take control of conflict situations. Therefore, to prevent others from influencing your agenda, you may take charge of the conversation and so on and so forth. Now, again, referring to that particular control priority for Bernie, the report lists what's important to him during conflict. It's important to take charge of discussions and have control. It's important, he wants justification for the other person's position, and he wants freedom to assert his opinions directly. Continuing again with that particular control priority, the report lists what you may value, or Bernie in this case, may value during conflict. You value standing up for your point of view. You value having authority. You value convincing others. You value elevating your argument, and so on. Again, keeping that control priority in our focus, the report lists what drains your energy during conflict. Feeling you have to censor everything you say, lacking control, having your ideas challenged, dealing with people who place emotions over facts, and so forth. These drain Bernie during a conflict. Then you see an overview which shows destructive and productive conflict tendencies that are typical for each of the 4 DiSC styles. Let's look more closely at the next slide. So Bernie's a D. I've broken out Bernie's D style here for more detail. Now, dominance. Destructive tendencies include insensitivity, impatience, creates win-lose situations, and so forth. Productive tendencies include straightforward with opinions, acknowledges tough issues, and so forth. These are for Bernie's D style. Then the report provides a 1-page summary for conflicting with each and all 4 basic styles. What drives that style in conflict? And compared to you, Bernie, people with that style tend to be blah, blah, blah. And how can you have productive conflict with that particular style? Some of my clients keep theirs posted in their workspace for regular reference. Then the report provides a one-page summary of goals, overuses, and fears while in conflict for each of the four styles, D, I, S, and C. Then the report discusses destructive responses, recognizing automatic thoughts, changing your response, and choosing productive responses. Now, I hope this overview has increased your awareness and knowledge and familiarity of the productive conflict profile. Whether your needs include employee engagement, conflict management, team building, or simply communication, DiSC is a research-based, proven leading training solution that's impacted more than 8 million learners in over 130,000 organizations and through 14 languages in over 70 countries worldwide. DiSC provides a quick, intuitive way to understand yourself and the needs and priorities of the people around you. And DiSC delivers immediate and lasting impact on the performance of people and the culture of your organization. And as always, I maintain the key to effectiveness through DiSC is understanding your and other styles, then using that knowledge for improved interactions. So here's our contact info. And before you go, I want to extend you a resource and a request. I'll be happy to send you a sample PDF of the Everything Disc Productive Conflict Profile, or if you'd like to discuss a complimentary live webinar, including DISC or introducing DISC to your team or organization, shoot me an email at info@traininglocation.com listed there. Next week, we'll be introducing Work of Leaders Profile, which helps leaders focus on understanding how their tendencies influence their effectiveness in specific leadership situations. Be sure and check out our other blogs at traininglocation.com. And before you go click your or close your screen, we always appreciate your like or your share or download. And of course, for continued learning, please click subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any new content. Thank you and goodbye until next time.